what you are seeing happening in Washington, D.C. today is the undermining of our republic. It is the weakening of our republic. It was wrong when the Republicans tried to do it. It is wrong today. Let me give you a couple of, first of all, what they're arguing about. Senator Reid, who is turning in to be one of, I think, a real villain.
Bad guy.
Yeah, a very big villain. Harry Reid has just proposed that they stop the filibuster. And so the filibuster, now you need 60 votes to stop a filibuster. He says that's just too high of a bar. He wants it to be 50 votes. Well, then what good is a filibuster? Now, there's a couple of people that have really spoken out eloquently against this, and I want Stu just to read the quotes here to you because they're really eloquent arguments against relinquishing or diminishing the power of the filibuster.
The Founding Fathers established the filibuster as a means of protecting the minority from the tyranny of the majority, and that protection, with some changes, has been in place for over 200 years.
Okay, so say it again. Listen to this. This is really important.
It is a good point.
The Founding Fathers established the filibuster as a means of protecting the minority from the tyranny of the majority, and that protection, with some changes, has been in place for over 200 years.
Okay, now give me the second point.
The nuclear option, which is what they're trying to do, extinguishes the power of independents and moderates in the Senate.
Say it again.
The nuclear option extinguishes the power of independents and moderates in the Senate.
Okay, so if you're a moderate or you're independent, you have no way, because the parties will crush you. You have no way to get your point out, and that's what the founders wanted to do. That's the first point there, that the founders did this so the minority
would still have some say.
Would have something. It may not work, but until they had to sit down, they could be heard. All right. Now, I want to point out who said that. The first quote came from Barack Obama. The second, $20 worth it. The second one came from Joe Biden.
Yeah, but who are they? Really?
I know. And they were so young when they said it.
Yeah, how old were you in
2005, 2006?
I mean, were there dinosaurs?
Yeah.
I think there were.
I think there were.
So they are now going against the principles that they never had in the first place.
No, they're pathetic.
And this is what Americans are so sick of. We just want somebody that believes in something. I'll take people like Bernie Sanders. He believes in something. He's consistent. He says it. He's not playing a game. Because I don't know about you. I'm not playing a game. Are you playing a game, Stu?
No, I don't think so.
Are you playing a game?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Not playing a game. This is important to me. Our republic is important. So say what you mean what you say. Make your best case. Meet me on the battlefield of ideas, as George Washington said. Now, Harry Reid is asking the Senate to get rid of the filibuster, and they could destroy this as early as today. Now, how are people going to vote? I don't know, because I don't see the people there. There are very few people there that are actually doing the right thing for the republic. They might say they're doing the right thing for the republic. That's what they're really there for. But the Mitch McConnells of the world, I'm sorry. The John McCains, the Lindsey Grahams, no, they're not. No, they're not. They are there because they have power. They have money. It is corrupt. They can extort people and companies, and both sides do it. The Republicans, man, you remember how much heat I used to get at Fox when they would say, don't say that the Republicans are just as bad, because they're not. Yeah, I understand. They're not full-fledged Marxists. But they're taking you down exactly the same pace, a road at a different pace. That's all that's happening here. And your republic is being undermined by people who are supposedly at least decent people. We might disagree, but they're at least decent people. No, they're not. No, they're not. I'm sorry. I cannot call people the good senator I won't play that game. I don't hate them. I disagree with them. And I won't call something good when it is not good. I won't say something is not corrupt when it is. I won't say that something was a fib, a flub, or a misspeak when it's a lie. And I highly recommend that you don't do it either. You start adopting the standards that you have for your own children. You don't say to your kids, did you just misspeak? You say to your kids, did you just lie to your mother?
Did you phrase that clumsily? I think you just phrased the phrasing and wordage there was a little bit clumsy, I think.
You don't ever
do
say
that.
that.
No.
Have you ever said that to anything like that, Jeffy?
Never.
Have you ever said that?
So fun.
No.
Have you ever heard a parent say that?
No.
Never. Never. So why is it? Why is it the biggest children in our lives? How many Americans believe that these guys are acting like children? I do. They are corrupt, they're deceitful, and they're childish. And so we don't even treat them like our children. Don't let them change the language. That proves to you that progressives are on both sides, because that is the number one sign of a progressive. They change the language to win the argument. What are progressives? They're communists. That's what they were known as. On the left, they were communists. On the right, they were fascists. Well, they wanted to be very American, to quote Hillary Clinton. They wanted to be that very American progressive movement. And so they adopted progressive. What happened to the libertarians? What happened to real classic liberalism? Why is it that liberal means something everywhere else in the entire world? What does it mean in the rest of the world? It means somebody who believes in the individual. It means somebody who believes in the maximum freedom for the individual and maximum responsibility for the individual. The smallest government. That's a liberal in everywhere else in the world except here. Well, I can tell you why our racecourses run the opposite way than the rest of the world. I can tell you why our cars drive a different direction, or our horses would drive a different direction from England. It was to make a point that we are not England. That's why our racehorses run a different direction than they do in Great Britain. Because we are not Great Britain. That's why it happened. So now why is liberal different, the definition different here than the rest of the world? Because of the progressives. And it's so insidious. It's so insidious. They took a word that meant the exact opposite. A progressive believes in power at the top and the collective. A classic liberal believes power at the bottom and maximum power for the individual, not the collective. So they took the word that meant the exact opposite and cloaked themselves. Now, here's where it really gets interesting. What did that do? That took away the libertarian, because that's what the libertarian was. The libertarian was the liberal. And so that took that chair away from the table. And then both sides, because remember, Theodore Roosevelt is the one who started the Progressive Party. Theodore Roosevelt, a Republican, and Woodrow Wilson, a Democrat, both progressives, both believing in the same thing, just one was a world government, one was the world led by the United States of America. That's the only difference. One was more fascistic, one was more communistic. Those two then start to belittle anyone who believes in small government. And that's what's happened to us in the last 110 years. And they're still doing it today. And the whole idea of the progressive ideology, the whole idea of progressivism, is that it destroys the Constitution and the Republic to where the people are in charge. Instead, it is a group of elites that are in charge. It flips the Constitution upside down. That's why Franklin Roosevelt actually proposed a new Bill of Rights. He actually proposed that the Bill of Rights be changed. And instead of being a charter of negative liberties on the government, it would be a charter of positive liberties, the things the government must do. Wilson talked about it. Roosevelt talked about it. LBJ talked about it. This president talked about it. They all have tried to do that. And the best way to do it is to dismantle Congress and the Senate. Just make them absolutely impotent. Make them a place to where the two-party system, which is a total sham. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't believe this 5 years ago. 10 years ago, I certainly didn't. 5 years ago, I was still fighting against it. I believe it now. And, I mean, you have to, and I know you're the same way. I know you're the same way. If you've done your work, if you've done your homework, you know what is true. 10 years ago, I was on the air and I asked Stu, how the hell did we get here? How did we get here? I know now. I know how we got here. And once you know, it's so frustrating because you open your eyes, gang. You've got to open your eyes. And you have. And you know the two-party system is a sham. And that's... The Republicans tried to do this and they were against it. Now the Democrats are trying to do it and they're against it. Where are the people of principle? Where are the people who said this is wrong when their party tried to do it, either then or now? Where are those people? Those are the people I want to hear from.